Hey, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel where we talk all about gentle products that are friendly to your skin. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, don't forget to hit subscribe if you're new here. So today I'm going to be talking about some of the serums I just can't stop reaching for during this winter season. Now I know, technically speaking, winter is still just a few weeks away. However, where I live, winter has officially started, trust me. It's been cold, it's been icy and windy, it's been trying to snow, and that means that my normally, combination skin is going really dry right now, and it can be a really kind of difficult transition for me. So I have to keep my skin really nice and moisturized and nourished, but I also have to make sure that I keep my moisture barrier really strong while also working on things like pimples and brightening and well aging all at the same time. So these are the products that are kind of helping me get through, and I'm really excited to share them with you. So if you're excited to give the video a big thumbs up and let's get started. So let's start with the Rovectin Forever Young Biome Ampoule. And this is going to fit into the skin strengthening category when it comes to serums. And that's a huge theme in my winter skincare routine, skin strengthening or even moisture barrier health. And that's pretty much true of all of my routines year round. But particularly in the winter, I keep my eye on this because when there's a major seasonal shift, so not just fall into winter, but sometimes even winter into spring, spring into summer, whenever there's a big shift, it can actually affect your skin. And so it's always a good idea to tune in and tap into your skin during those times to see what's up, to see if there have been changes, because your environment definitely can affect your skin. This uses a lot of pre and probiotic ingredients. All the fermented ingredients here are offering that benefit, which really helps to strengthen your skin's microbiome. Now, this is a little bit different than just your traditional ceramides, cholesterol, fatty acids to fortify the skin's moisture barrier, but having a healthy microbiome is actually a big part of having healthy, strong skin, and it is something that is going to be linked to the health of your moisture barrier too. They're different, but they definitely work in tandem, so it makes sense to strengthen both of them. And so this is really focused on the microbiome, and we see this principle played out with probiotics and gut health, right? There's so much research about having a healthy, diverse microbiome in your gut and how that affects your health throughout your entire body. And that's really pretty much the same principle with the skin microbiome. So this has a nice medium gel texture. It brings a nice amount of hydration into the skin with some balancing moisture. It's not greasy, it's not heavy, it's not super rich, but there's just a little bit more like oomph, just a little bit more moisture than just your purely hydrating gel type of textured serums. I started using this like right at the beginning of November when temperatures were cooler, but they weren't like starting to get harsh. And then as we progressed deeper into November, that's when, the temperatures really started to get cold. And I was so happy to have this because I was noticing my skin was starting to get a little bit more inflamed. It was starting to get really dry, a little bit itchy. I was like, is my eczema gonna flare up right now? And when I added the serum into my routine, I mean, look, it's not like a miracle worker. It took like a week or 2 weeks, but I noticed that my skin was just like taking it better. The inflammation was way down, the redness was down, the itchiness wasn't there anymore. And I was like, hey, my skin just seems to be taking it. Like it just seems to be adapting a lot better. It's getting drier, it's still getting dry, but it just seems stronger and it just seems like more capable of handling it, if that makes sense. So this is the type of serum. It's not going to bring like immediate irritation relief or like immediately strengthen your skin. This is a long-term skin strengthening, solution. This is something you got to stay consistent with. It may not impress you on the first couple of uses, but over time, as you tap into your skin, you will notice the changes. You will notice that your skin is healthier. You'll notice maybe your complexion is just a little bit more healthy looking. The redness is diminished. The inflammation has gone away. This is that type of serum. Don't discount those types of serums. You know what I mean? Like skincare is a long-term game, and this is something that can definitely help with the health of your skin. Next up is the NIOD Modulating Glucosides Serum. Now, speaking of irritation relief, this is that serum. This is the serum that relieves irritation, itchiness, redness, stinging on the skin immediately. This works really fast. It's very surprising. Now, just in the vein of all the other NIOD products, this has a confusing name and an extremely long ingredients list. But I will tell you, this is kind of a multi-layered approach to skin that just gets very sensitive or gets a lot of irritation easily. Because not only does this product work really fast, it's really targeting skin that, like sometimes when you get that stinging sensation on your skin from irritation, this helps to relieve that immediately. This is also good for reducing redness, inflammation, irritation, itchiness, just all the signs of sensitivity. And the texture is really nice too because it's an emulsion type of serum. It's creamy, but it's actually hydrating on your skin. You feel a little bit of hydration and plumping with this. It's not as heavy as it looks from that creamy texture. But of course, we do have moisture here. We do have a little bit of nourishment. It's just not as moisturizing as it looks. This works so fast. OMG. This will immediately relieve stinging and irritation on your skin. I've talked about this serum quite a bit in the last couple of months. I'm a huge fan of it. You already know that it's been working well for my skin, but let me share a recent story with you. As you know, I sometimes get eczema that flares up right on this side, just on this lip, the upper lip, just on this side. This is the area in it. This is where it likes to flare up. And you know, sometimes when you have common flare-up areas with eczema, sometimes you can kind of feel it wanting to come up before it actually, like you can actually see it, but you can feel it first. So the other day, this area was just feeling so raw. You know the feeling? It's just so different from the rest of your face. I'm like, ugh, this is gonna pop up. And it's like, it feels raw, it feels itchy, it feels irritated. And I wasn't even using this serum that day, but I was like, you know what? I put a small drop on my finger and I just rubbed it into that area and the raw feeling went away immediately. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot how good this serum is. It works so fast. It really relieves the skin. But I especially like this now that the temperatures are going colder, my skin is going drier, and yet I'm still using my tretinoin prescription, right? Which can kind of make the dryness a little bit worse, especially during this time of year. So I have to be very careful with my tretinoin routine. I just use this and it's working so good. It really, you know, the Rovectin Ampoule is all about strengthening your skin and helping your skin just take it a little bit better. But, you know, this NIOD serum is really about reducing sensitivity and reducing irritation, kind of like in the moment. And so it's the perfect type of serum to pair with your tretinoin because that feeling, that side effect kind of happens immediately with tretinoin, or at least it happens like the next morning, right? You know, you wake up and your skin's a lot drier than it was when you went to bed and you're like, oh no, I think I overdid it. This is that perfect serum to pair with it because it does work so quickly. Next up is the Inkey List Q10 serum. Now I'm a huge fan of packing my skincare routines with antioxidants because they help to fight from, you know, free radical damage and damage from UV. So that's really where this serum fits into the rotation of the products that we're talking about today. This is really like a morning time serum for me. This is something that I'm using to help boost my sunscreen protection. So Q10 is definitely a potent antioxidant that can do everything I just said, but it also has some abilities to help with fine lines and wrinkles, to help prevent them and to help repair them as well. It's also the type of antioxidant that might help with your skin's complexion. It might help brighten it up just a little bit, and it's actually just something that I've enjoyed in lots of other skincare products in the past. So I like this one from Inkey List because it just gives you, you know, Q10 in one tiny little bottle. And this is another theme in the video, is the texture. This is another emulsion type of texture that brings more hydration than you might be thinking, you know, just on first glance. This brings a nice amount of hydration. There's that nice little bit of nourishing moisture to this that's not super rich, it's not oily, it's not really heavy. It's just that nice comforting moisture, balancing moisture with lots of hydration. When you put this on your skin just feels so plump, so bouncy. It makes your skin feel so good. I love just how this feels. And sometimes that's everything when your skin is going from combination to super duper dry. when your skin is super duper dry and maybe even a little bit dehydrated, your skin can start to feel even like a little bit thinner, you know? It just doesn't feel as good. And so it's great to get those skincare products that really reinvigorate your skin, really plump it back up, really hydrate it and make it feel bouncy and healthy again. I will say I did a fall serums video just a few months ago in September where I shared all of the serums that I was using during that seasonal transition, and I did have a category for antioxidants. I just want to do a shout out to this product because I do actually still use this as well. It's the Ordinary Pycnogenol. I love this. So the ingredient here, the antioxidant, it's Pinus pinaster bark extract. Pycnogenol is just like a trade name. It's just like a manufacturer name. So Pinus pinaster bark extract. Love this antioxidant. Just want to do a quick shout out to it in this video because like I said, I am also using this sometimes in the morning. This is a very different texture though. It's actually almost like a very, very light, dry oil feel on the skin. It absorbs really quickly. It feels very light, but it does have a lot more moisture to it. This brings all of those wonderful well-aging capabilities, but Pinus pinaster bark extract also seems to have a little bit of a soothing effect on the skin, especially if you get a lot of irritation from dehydration. So yeah, shout out to that one because I do keep that in my rotation. But the Inkey List, the Q10, is also really nice because of that wonderful plumping, nourishing, but also hydrating texture. Next up is the Beauty of Joseon Glow Propolis plus Niacinamide Serum. What, you thought there wasn't gonna be any propolis in this video? Do you know me? You know, I use this ingredient year round. It treats my skin so well. You know, I use it especially when my skin is starting to break out. It's getting a little bit more inflamed. I'm starting to see more pimples because propolis, it's a strong antioxidant. It has wound healing abilities. It's antibacterial. It's anti-inflammatory. And it just helps make your skin look really healthy and glowy. So those are the benefits. And you know, I have a lot of different propolis serums that I absolutely love. And you know, different ones are appropriate, I think, for different seasons as my skin type tends to fluctuate with the weather. So now in the winter is when I can pull out those more luxurious, medium weight, thicker propolis products, and this is one of them. I will just do a quick shout out to the Skinfood Royal Honey Propolis Enrich Essence, a long time favorite of mine, and especially something that I reach for a lot in the winter. That would have easily made this video, but my bottle is actually empty right now, and I haven't done the reorder yet. It's going to happen in a couple of weeks, but since I have so many other propolis serums on hand right now, it just doesn't make sense. But that is absolutely something that I will use in the winter time. Going back to this Beauty of Joseon Glow Serum, this is also a little bit of a thicker gel texture that brings a good amount of moisture into the skin. Of all the Beauty of Joseon serums, this is actually the thickest one of the 4 that they have out right now, and it brings a nice amount of non-sticky moisture to the skin. We've got 60% of propolis in here, and we also have 2% of niacinamide. And this particular propolis serum is so good if you do, if your skin does respond to propolis when it comes to pimples and acne, because it's got that good amount of propolis that's going to help calm all that down, get it on its way to healing. But that 2% of niacinamide is so helpful because if you're anything like me, you might get dark marks after you've had inflamed pimples. It's just no fail. It always happens with me. And so this is kind of a 2-for-1 type of serum because it calms your acne and your pimples, but it also works on the dark marks that you might have on your face. It helps brighten up your skin. And we also have betaine salicylate, which is a very, very, very gentle form of salicylic acid. There's just a tiny amount in here. This is something that my very sensitive skin can use every single day without irritation. But that little bit of exfoliation is so good if you're getting pimples, clogged pores, right? It's just that little extra addition along with the propolis that really brings that benefit out when you use this serum. Next up is the RNW Ceramide Plus Serum. This is the ceramides, cholesterol, fatty acids portion of the video. Remember, do you know me? Of course. You know that I make sure that I have this kind of trio of ingredients in like all of my skincare routines year round. But like I mentioned at the beginning, beginning of the video, moisture barrier health is really important during the winter because it can get a little bit weakened from the extreme weather happening outside. So we've got ceramides, cholesterol, fatty acids, the holy trinity when it comes to keeping your moisture barrier really strong or helping it to repair when it's weakened or damaged. Those are the three main ones that you want to look for. This has 5 different types of ceramides in the formula. We've got a variety of different barrier supportive ingredients in here as well. We've got niacinamide, and this also has quite a few different well-aging peptides in it. So this isn't just about keeping your barrier strong. There's a little bit of skin brightening in here from the niacinamide. There's well-aging benefits, helping to prevent fine lines and wrinkles. This is really an all-in-one type of solution. And that's what I really like about this serum, because real talk here, I have sensitive skin, and that can be real FOMO sometimes, because I have to go so slow with my skin. I have to be really patient. And sometimes that does mean I have to stay with the same products all the time because I'm just always dealing with sensitivity or a weak barrier or dehydration or whatever. And so simpler products, simpler routines, gentler routines, I know that's what my skin likes, but sometimes I feel like I'm missing out on the more potent, well-aging types of products, or like I wish I could put tretinoin on just one more night a week. I just can't. And so sometimes when you do have sensitive skin, you do feel like you're missing out on some types of products. That's what I really like about this product, because even when my skin needs that barrier strengthening, I'm still getting the peptides. I'm getting the peptides. There are antioxidants in here too, and I'm getting the niacinamide. I'm still working on my other skin goals. It's not just about soothing irritated skin or helping a weakened moisture barrier. I'm getting my well-aging. I'm getting my brightening. I'm getting all of that in one serum. So I don't feel like I'm missing out. I still feel like I'm advancing with my other skin goals. This has a similar texture to the other products that we talked about. It's a medium gel texture, little bit of hydration, a little bit of moisture. I would say like in equal amounts that don't feel heavy or overwhelming on the skin. Because with all those ceramides, you might have been expecting something really creamy and moisturizing, and it's just not. I think a lot of different skin types can enjoy this one. It's not just about lots of moisture. It's a very balanced type of texture. And I want to talk about the Paula's Choice Discoloration Repair Serum. Now I will say this is not a winter specific pick, but this is actually just something that is a big part of my regular skincare routines. I didn't mention it, I don't believe, in the fall serums video, so I'm going to do a quick shout out to it right now. This uses 3% of tranexamic acid, which is an amazing brightening ingredient, especially if you have sun damage or melasma, because this just works so well at brightening up like UV specific damage on the skin, way better than niacinamide, which by the way is also in this formula. We have 5% of niacinamide, and no shade to niacinamide. I love it. It works really well for my skin, particularly for post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. It's a fancy name for the dark marks that you get after pimples. It works really well for that. It works really well for general complexion brightening, but it's not always the best brightening ingredient for sun damage. That's a whole different beast, if you will. And tranexamic acid, just in my experience, has been working a lot better and a lot faster for that. So this has been great because this is kind of like a multi-step like solution to all of my brightening, because like I said, I do have sun damage, I do have hyperpigmentation, I do just kind of sometimes have an uneven skin tone. This does all of it in one product. I don't have to chase all these different brightening products and try to figure out how to add them all into my skincare routine. I can just do it with this product. The texture here, again, it looks really creamy. It's not heavy though. It's actually really thin, and it doesn't overwhelm the skin at all. It's got really good absorbency in the skin. I really don't feel like this adds a lot of moisture to my skin. I don't feel like it hydrates my skin. I just feel like it's a nice layer, like a nice thin, lightweight layer, just a treatment on my skin. Does this make sense? So this is kind of the odd man out, just because it's one of those types of textures that's not really adding much to my skin besides brightening it. But like, you know what I mean? Hydration or moisture, like a comforting feel. It doesn't have any of that. It's just a layer of skincare that brightens your skin. I also wanted to update you on this because I think the last time I I talked about this was in a skincare routine, and I was telling you I was just like going very slow trying to get my skin to adapt to this product, because with sensitive skin, it was a little stimulating for me. Not irritating, but it was just something I wanted to be very patient and slow with as I got my skin accustomed to it. There's absolutely no reason to push my skin any further than it wants to go. I listen to my skin, and sometimes that means I have to go slower. It means lots of patience, but it usually means better results for me in the long run. That's just something that I've learned. So I've been going really slow with it. So I wanted to update you and let you know that my skin has like really adapted to this nicely by this point. Like it's doing really, really well. And I will also pass along some great advice that a few of you actually gave me in the comments about this product. You don't always have to do a full face application. You can just do spot treatments. Just because usually we have like little areas of sun damage or little hyperpigmentation on our face. You can just spot treat it. You don't always have to put it all over your face, especially if you are kind of trying to adapt and maybe you're feeling like this is a little bit stimulating on the skin. So I wanted to pass that along because it's also something that's been helping me a lot. So thank you so much for sharing that. And I offer that to any of you who might be struggling with patience, struggling with adapting to this. That's a kind of nice workaround as you get your skin adapted to it. So those are the products that are helping me get through early winter. And I'm curious, are there serums that you can't stop reaching for whatever season you're currently in right now? Let me know in the comment box below. If you love this video, if it added value, but you haven't hit subscribe just yet, please do consider doing that before you go. I release a lot of new skincare and self-care content throughout the week, so consider turning on notifications so you never miss out when I upload new content. I hope you are healthy, happy, and safe, and I can't wait to talk to you in the next video. Bye.